we get in the first phase of bans, we do get the Orianna and the Rise control mage bans away from NIP, and it's going to be Nico and Jace by WE.
Yeah, so Yaoyao doesn't play any Nico from what we have seen, so that is just a champion that's been permanently banned by WE. They're going to get rid of the Varus because it is now a flex with Hoya being the only Varus top in the world. See what the first pick is going to be. Azir is okay. It's a takeaway from Karis, but I think KR has not really performed. Also, I just want to mention, because this is an additional game being played at the end of the season, or a best of 3 that's being played, we are fully remote for this game. So there are no stage games being played. Both teams are in their homes currently playing. So that is probably why you're not seeing any players on screen right now.
Yeah, that's maybe, a little bit of a difference. But that being said, hopefully no tech issues, and cross my fingers.
Don't say that, Lennon. Just
we got the Ionian duo here, the killers of Atacon. We got Yunara and Zhao. Got to throw a little bit of lore in there. We'll see what the couple answers are going to be from NIP though, but that does mean that WE are going to have that final pick of the first phase at least. The Aphelios immediately comes through for NIP.
I think you need to be taking away an Enchanter support. I think you can go for the Lulu here on 3. The lane is a bit tougher. We've seen Aphelios rise as an answer into the Yunara, has similar spikes, also has just a stronger laning phase thanks to access to things like the lethality in his kit. And Thresh has started to pop up as an engaged champion, but I think it's really worrisome if you're going to be playing later into the game and you have that Lulu to not only buff Yunara, but also this Zhao later. So that's going to be the snap here for WE. You already have a very strong team fighting core on 2 items. Now I need to see what NIP are going to be able to do in the laning phase so far with these matchups.
At least it means we can maybe get a little bit more attention to that bot lane. Something I know we wanted to see at least. The Malphite's going to be banned away in the second phase, so taking away some engaged tools from NIP. It has been, a big focus, at least for Guwon. He's not necessarily going for all the carry picks, but like I said earlier, kind of facilitation for the team. We do get the Akali ban towards Karis. This has been something that's like 50% of the time against WE.
Almost, yeah.
It gets banned away.
I like these answers from WE. Let's get rid of all of the potential to engage. NIP have very strong team fighting. You have an Azir, one of the most premier mages in mid lane and just blind champions in general. And Aphelios can be a very, very strong fighter. Now let's just get rid of ways for them to, start that, be the trigger pull for the team. For Guwon, we still have Vi in this game, which I think could be very strong. You still have things like the Pantheon, which, while a little bit weaker into the Lulu, does provide them the side lane protection for this Azir. We got rid of all the strong mages that might deal with an Azir early on in the LeBlanc and Akali. So for WE, what else are we going here for Karis? I mean, I'm looking at his mid lane champions. Rise is going to be a little bit weaker. You could go for Mel. We're going to go instead for more range. So top lane right now, Sion is like the arms race now because you have no other front line for your Ziggs and your Yunara.
We have been seeing the Ziggs as a really nice answer into the Azir with some of that poke potential as well. But we'll see what the final pick is going to be, the counter pick for WE as Renekton is locked in for NIP. So pretty strong solo lanes at least so far.
I do not want to see a Cassante here for a Cube. Please do not pick Cassante. I know it's into Renekton. You'll go down 10, 15 CS in the early game, and then you'll be a Giga Tank for the rest. But I think you need a champion that is not only going to be resolute, but also just permanently stand in front of the enemy team. We're getting a Game 1 Kiana here from Guwon. 3 games played on this champion so far. I'm not going to lie, Lennon, I really don't like it, though.
I don't like it, bro.
There's very little front line for this backline that we were just setting up. So I don't think you're playing Olaf into Renekton.
Even the best teams in Group Ascend get baited by this pick. It looks good for like 15 minutes into the game, and then it gets completely turned around as the Gwen is the lock-in.
Okay, so a couple of things. Lulu can only polymorph one target, so, if it's going to be a Renekton or if it's going to be this Kiana, you have to pick your targets there. And there's just not very much frontline. The Zhao is basically your biggest frontline in terms of just having the Crescent Guard. So for NIP, this game should be easier. You have a Thresh, you have a Renekton. You also have a lot of winning lanes here in the top and bottom lane. So unless we are able to really get the pace of the game rolling early, or if Cube goes for combat summoners early, this is going to be yet another game where we see WE at 15 minutes down like 1,500 gold, just to become a staple of their play here in the LPL.
Does it turn around at some point, though, for them? They do have some good scaling tools as it goes.
I mean, sure, but you have to...
But no, not enough.
NIP have to allow you to get to that point. Like, if you are playing Renekton into Gwen, and Gwen has not been solo killed or killed by the jungler at least once in the laning phase, sure. Later on, when she hits her 2 and 3 items, she'll be very powerful, but she should not be allowed to live in this lane. Bottom lane, the same thing. Lulu Yunara should not survive a Thresh and an Aphelios for the first 10 minutes of the game. It should be very difficult for them to play.
So it definitely means a little bit more propensity for violence towards the bot lane. Maybe we'll get to see a little bit of fireworks going, but that means we're going to be getting close to this game number 1 of our now final series of the LPL 2026 Winter Split. We are on to the Rift, and we are in it to win it for the final placings of the Night's Rivals Tournament. NIP versus WE.
We don't have to wait for... No! This is your fault. This is your fault.
Incredible.
You literally called it, and thankfully we have a timestamp from our producer who was very mad that you decided to do this 6 minutes ago, talking
Give me
about,
the belt.
I just hope there are
Give me the
no
belt.
delays. And then you do this. I was going to say we don't have to wait for Gyos because we're online, and then you threw us into a pause. This is your fault.
This is what happens when the LPL goes remote. That's what happens.
No,
Not my
it doesn't
fault.
have to be. We can do better. We can break the chain.
We should do better. But this is for, however long I've been casting LPL. Anytime anything's remote, there's always something. There's always something that goes wrong. So, now we get to... we can bring back up the grind. We just redo the pre-show. That's what we do. We just go through the whole thing again. Do we just sit here in silence while you... Yeah, I'm just going to keep talking to myself.
I'm pissed, guys. You guys don't get it. We're trying not to have these delays. Look, let's just be honest here, Ludden. There's a lot of things going on. There's a best of 3 happening in the LCK Cup for their play-ins, which I think is cute. Talked about it in my tweet if you didn't see, but Taeyun is playing while his former team is playing. Very nice. Hopefully we can see some success for there. But
you just
we
told
are
a bunch
also
of people
online.
to go watch LCK right now.
I did not say for them to go watch LCK. If anything, I'm telling them
not
not to watch LCK.
There's no game
but
here.
You know
There's a game going on over there.
You know who did tell them to go watch LCK?
Not me.
You did, because
Nah,
you
that's
called
not
for a
true.
pause.
I said you.
This is your fault.
I might take the blame, but it's okay. It's all about forgiveness. And now you got to forgive me because we're back into the game because I was pressing
I don't have
my
to do that. You did not get us out of this pause. You did not
I
get
was
us out.
pressing the caster start the game button the entire time, Alk, all right?
All right. So I don't see anything funky with the runes. Cash back on both our AD carries. That's fine. We're seeing a little bit of trading on the bottom side. Ooh, we have Cube with the Ignite instead of the Flash. Gwen has been a champion that in general has not really seen too much Flash usage in general. This AI bot has 0 favorings for WE, and I think that is very correct.
I know we were getting a little bit of action down here in this 2v2, but can we theory craft a little bit there? Because I still feel like top lane is so discovered on what you can do with the free TP that comes with it. Why would you not go Flash? Okay, well, About's going to get hooked again. I feel like a little bit of damage back, but you are going to get a couple summoner spells to keep that healing going. You do have that extra damage coming down as well, but it's just going to be some heavy
we're just level 3 ganking.
We're just going to go all the way. Guwon just going straight to the top lane, straight to Cube, and straight to the heart of WE. First blood for NIP.
All right, we're hitting the checklist right now. We're making sure that Gwen gets killed early, before 3 minutes, done already, and the wave is in such a good spot. Now, kind of going back to what you were talking about for the teleport, I think in pro play, timings are really, really specific, and having a 90 seconds bonus on top of your teleport if you take the additional combat sub is really dangerous. So you have to be very, very particular. Guwon is going to fall behind at least a camp here. He's going to get spotted now, but there's not really much to do here. Monki is much stronger, double buffs on the Zhao, and can completely screen him from his camps. I mean, Karis never going to be able to move, so I think it's a really good play coming in from Monki. He's getting a little bit of chipped engine. Maybe he even gets double scuttle here, which if he does, he's going to hit level 6 before that third scuttle spawns.
Give him a little bit of playing bot side. It's a bit, oh man, you just eating
Beautiful.
hooks day after day about. Gotta get you something else for breakfast.
This is my worry about WE, is that their early game is so abysmal. Like, not only are we just taking bad matchups from the draft, in general, they are one of the worst teams, not in group perseverance in total, but in the league right now. Minus 600 gold on average at 15. They are a team that really struggle with trying to generate leads in their lanes. Top lane's already been killed thanks to Guwon helping. Bottom lane was a great play, and even if Guwon loses his double Raptors, Monki getting a lead is kind of the only way I can see WE winning anyway.
He's going to keep trying. He's going to keep going on to Guwon. He's about to have the 3-talent strike up, and Guwon goes with the flash, knows he could save it. But it's going to be Monki now having pressed into NIP's jungle, both in bot and in top.
Can Monki make a difference, though? That's a big question.
Yeah.
He's been a player that we've been a little bit down on so far this split. Individually, I think his mechanics have not been up to snuff, and even as the leader for this team, he has had a lot of big mistakes that have cost them games. But he has a huge lead, Lennon. I mean, it may not show in the jungle treats because you can only get so many this early on, but he is really far ahead. He is almost a full level up in the jungle, and we rarely see that in this day and age.
Yeah, I mean, I was flabbergasted that we had like a 2-level lead in the jungle the other day, but level still is shocking. And another hook lands from Zhuo. Incredible accuracy so far. Might be even close to 100% there. And they will just continuously put down this bot lane, just as you said from the draft.
This is good. So we're pushing in on bottom lane. Are we going to go for another one? I mean, Guwon's just trying to steal a camp. I think we're just playing for our jungler at this point. A play underneath this turret, I think, is really, really risky because Monki is farming up. He is going to be finishing all of his top side. And there's going to be another play there. Monki's going to try and do something against Hoya. Hoya has hit level 6.
Oh, but he goes back in. Might have just taken the bait. Now Monki has a good angle on him. Going to get the dominance here in a moment. Maybe not even going to pop it just yet. Just going to hold on to it. The help of the needlework starts coming in. He has to go ahead and pop the dominance, but he ain't dominating nothing. Monki goes ahead and claims his head. That's going to be Guwon stealing away the bot.
All right. Gwen, how much are we able to get here? The wave's pushing. I'm looking currently at the top side jungle. Can I hold this as there's a play? Zhuo's looking for something.
Well, if the hook does land, it's going to be big. You said that you can only polymorph one character, and that will be the one that gets taken.
Oh!
Another death sentence lands. He will falter for it and fall, and Yaoyao will survive. It's going to be relentless pressure from NIP so far in this game.
Yeah, NIP, they're putting so much focus on this bottom lane. Karis getting a bit of poke from Karis, but should be fine. I think what I'm now going to be looking at is Monki got to steal the Raptors this time, and he's going to get the topside scuttle. He is going to hit level 6 here at the 615 mark, and he has his bottom side that's going to be respawning with this red buff soon. So I don't think WE can really go for Dragon. This is a very worrisome start to the game where we've seen Monki get himself a lead and put Guwon in a bit of a hole, but Guwon has decided to sacrifice this fast farming Qiyana to just make sure his lanes get kickstarted early.
Yeah, and with how he's talked about it from the draft, I think that's perfectly fine because his lanes are incredibly strong. And we'll see how that comes to a head here when we get to these objectives. Obviously, the first dragon is already up on the board right now, has been for a little while. But there's going to be those grubs in about 1 minute and 10 seconds. Kair going to stop off, get some honey fruit, and get a nice chunk of healing back. And I'm sure some more oppression is heading about its way down here. Looks like he wants to make a play. Assum does have that Moonlight Vigil. Has the Chakram, has the Calibrum. Going to hit one, go with the double combo.
Oh!
That is beautifully executed from Assum, but it's not enough to get the kill. And now Monki, he's coming for the revenge. He says, you come attack my bot lane over and over again. I want to do something about it. He does still have the crest. He's already been blocking a decent amount of damage. Goes for the flash, but he gets dragged into the turret.
Wait.
Monki taking the extra shot. He's going to go down.
And do they keep trying for more? Because Qiyana's here. We're just stealing away some camps. Has level 6 and no flash here for about Yaoyao with this polymorph can completely change this play.
Oh, about goes straight in, but he gets the kill. Almost goes down to Assum, and now Guwon's trying to clean up a little bit, but he's in some trouble here. He goes for the supreme display of talent, just gets the kill straight up onto about.
We'll forgive the ultimate because we still got the kill. That's the most important part. I need to see a beeline here, and we are going to have the grub spawning now, and you have to be very worried as Team WE to give these grubs over. If you get these grubs, you can have a Ziggs. Is this okay? So Karis just uses his flash. Wow!
He escaped.
Wow.
That was insane.
It's just a survival, you know, but I really want to see them with grubs. Obviously, with turret plates everywhere in the game for the new season, it means there's so much gold. Grubs plus the Ziggs, structures will be deleted. So I don't think NIP can play for this. That TP from Zhuo with the unsealed spellbook meant that he's just going to be committed to the bot lane. It's going to be a big win for WE. It's just, can we get to the side lanes? Because we've started to at least bleed some of this gold out, but your bottom lane is so far behind.
I'm just going to say, it's looking exactly like we expected. A little bit of back and forth, a little bit of chaos, a little bit of here and there. But now we're you know, all online. We all have ults. And you're getting closer and closer to completing those quests and first items, all that good stuff. Is there that change in tempo that you're saying? Still that strength here within those first 10 minutes? Is that propelling a little bit further here for NIP with some of the leads they've gotten?
For Ninjas and Pyjamas, it's difficult because you've given over some kills back, so this bot lane matchup is not as bad, but you're down 20 as this Yunara. You're also 1-3 at this point, so your item is going to be delayed in comparison to enemy AD. But top lane has been completely neutralized. Like, Cube died once, and then that was it. And he got an assist when he got the kill back on Hoya, so I think everybody else is doing fine, and that was the big worry for this game, was the two outside lanes.
Oh, we're getting a slap box from fighting top lane. Dominant flash from Hoya to get the healing going. He's still got the rage bar coming, but it's not going to be enough. That little girl's got scissors, and she's trying to snip down the croc, and that's going to be huge. Big solo bolo for Cube. Now we got it all in from about. He wants to go into Assum. He goes ahead with the cleanse, gets the double hit with the Eye of Ruin, but it's going to be a little head knock up from that wild growth. That does not matter. Assum gets the kill, and that's going to be his second.
I just think we are never going to be skirmishing there as WE. A small mistake. He didn't know Guwon was there. Zhuo's thresh this game has been impeccable, giving so much value, not just with the hooks, but the flay versus this Xin Zhao later. Didn't touch on it, but it's going to be a big game changer for them. Ninjas and Pyjamas now get more plates on the bottom side. And that bottom lane that we were talking about was at least doing well for them, or holding off this aggression. Now it balloons. It was 200 gold, now it's 1,000 plus on them.
Yeah. It's a snowball from hell right there, that's for sure. I got to give a little proud shout out to Guwon as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's the one and the only one that's touched Monki's Krugs on the bot side this whole game. And he's done a really good job of, you know, stealing back some of this lead. It's still a little bit of a lead for Monki, but he's dipping and diving, trying to find a little bit of gold. And Zhuo is just going to dive straight into the face of Monki with Yaoyao. And Red-White also wants to fight. He's got the suppression guard at least coming out from Monki. Assum, he's staying in it, has the death sentence, or at least the dark passage there, but can't take it.
That's pretty ugly. That's 500 gold, 300 of it going over to Monki, and then you're giving plates over with 3 grubs. So, bit of a problematic look. Great Ziggs ultimate to stop Care from getting more of this wave. And the timers are good. Dragon doesn't spawn for another 2. A small outplay, I think, from WE, because NIP were just walking to lane. They thought it was regular business. This was just going to be us walking back to the bottom lane, catching a few waves, and being able to exercise our will. About's now caught up. He's only down his boots, but he traded that in for a slingshot. I think that while WE, we've had some concerns about their game, now he's going to go on.
No way.
Surely they don't fall for it this time.
No way. Surely, of course not. Oh. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Zhuo just sold out Guwon, bro.
He didn't know. He didn't know the timer there. I'll give him some credit. Zhuo might find a hook here. Another turret plate that does go over. Remember, it's all about can we get priority for Dragon that spawns in 2 minutes, looking for something. Maybe a flash from Karis.
Karis is able to escape with just the satchel charge. So that's going to be pretty good utilization. And we did finally hit those first item spikes here aplenty. And we will see that Lumi for some of that poke from Karis. It's pretty big, but still a little bit of an advantage right now, at least with that slingshot completed for about, but it's still that extra, 600 gold getting those boots completed for Assum.
Just look at the difference in support items right now. It's only, there's not much, but the quality of the items I think is so important. Bandle pipes, it's cool, but you need to land your crowd control. Lulu has so many ways of applying her Ardent Sensor, and you have 2 really big auto attackers. Not including Gwen, because if Gwen gets those buffs, I think she's going to be a huge monster later. I think it's a very strong point in the game. It obviously gets better as we get more items, but this is a very strong spike for WE, and I'm wondering what objective we're going to be looking to fight over, because we're about 14 minutes, and there's only been 1 dragon taken, which does mean we're going to have at least a little bit of a later game when it comes to dragon stacking.
Love to go late. Love to go chaotic here in this one, but it is also something that I wonder why the payoff wasn't there for NIP in terms of the aggression they were looking to use in that kind of 1 to 10 level mark, because they got 4 kills on Guwon, but it hasn't mattered all that much in the grand scheme.
Well, we griefed some of those. we did grief some of those kills. Like Assum dying twice, not great. Not awesome as we would say in the business, but how do you fight this? This now. He is so strong.
He just says, let's go. Wild throw could be popped there. Guwon goes straight to the back line. I think Monki just baited his entire team into a losing fight. He's going to find one back. Zhuo going to get a beautiful death sentence straight onto him, and Assum is looking just that extra awesome that you were wanting. That's going to be a big pick setup here from NIP.
I think the idea for Monki is great. We have a Lulu, I'm playing Xin Zhao, run at these guys, and they can't do anything about it. The issue is that maybe we're not expecting the timing. He does not know that Guwon's in the area. He wins this 2v4. And Assum's also on his way. Yaoyao flashes forward to give him the wild growth, and then Guwon just completely ignores him, goes straight for the backline. If that doesn't happen with him and Care, I think this is a winning fight for WE, but a great turn here from NIP. Now gets them back in the lead. They get priority for this objective. Care's by himself. What's going on down here, brother?
Put up the sun disc, thought he was safe, but it is Karis who TP'd behind him. Was able to use that bouncing bomb to get him out of the way. It's going to be more gold going back to WE, even though, NIP still got about 1,000 gold lead. Oh, that sentence won't connect, but I appreciate the attempt from NIP at least.
You say there's 1,000 gold lead. I'm looking at the map right now. Dragon's going to go over to WE, and this Ziggs is about to blow up this bottom lane tier 1. There's going to be a lot of gold going back for them. The plates that are there, the objective gold. Awesome. It's a 1v1. Oh, the flash from both of them. That's going to be an expensive take. Not having that versus in Azir later on is going to be massive. And again, Monki still a big threat here in this game, despite being down 1,500.
Hey, and it fits the style. He's literally just been running at people here in this game, number 1 at least. Just kind of taking every engage he can. Now, he might get engaged on if he goes a little bit too far into his jungle. Guwon has been taking away a lot of that. Satchel Charge going to knock Assum into the wall, but we'll be fine for that. And we'll still have a little bit of focus towards this top side for the Rift Herald that is available to both teams.
We got to get Azir over here. He doesn't have teleport, and there's another wave that he's going for. You see that right now, Monki is walking down. He does reveal him with the Phalites on these Krugs. Very cute cancel Tiamat there coming in from Hoya. But yeah, with Monki now showing on bottom side, Care drawing a little bit of attention towards that lane. Herald's going to go over. I think it's not a bad trade as WE are at the moment. Just they know that they don't have a timer. They don't have flash on their AD carry. We're about to hit some pretty big breakpoints. Level 11 for Monki is huge. So
we'll see. I thought he was maybe looking for the dive there, but Assum actually going to be caught in transition here. He needs to be very careful. He's going to go back, get the triple challenge strike straight from Monki, and he's losing his health bar too quickly. Mega Inferno Bomb came over the top as well, and NIP have been scattered to the winds here like ashes. Cube takes the rear engage here and gets taken down as a little bit of recompense for NIP, but Monki's just going to chase them down all along as he's looking to rack up more kills. Hoya does heal through. will be the audacious charge coming through. But that's it for WE as they even the game score at least, and they even the gold score right now, as about 1,000 gold has been ripped away from NIP.
Another turret in mid falls thanks to Karis. These 3 grubs giving them a lot of value. And the big question from draft was, can WE survive the early lanes to get to the part of the game where they are advantaged? And Monki right now is at that point, like, you can't take this path as Assum. You have no flash. Zhuo's in the opposite side, and while Guwon can be there, this is a great pinch coming in from Monki. He knows he's untouchable in this play, and with Ziggs trying to help from the other side, it's really tough. I mean, Cube also wasn't put down far enough. He buys time for his team. If Hoya and Guwon got to this fight earlier, maybe they could have turned it. Ends up being a reality we will never live in, or we won't know for the time being. So, NIP are now losing out big time on the map, and that early lane priority that they had isn't transitioning into wins. Now, the thing I will give them is that they're coming upon really big item spikes. Infinity Edge was just completed for Assum, and Kara is almost done with his Shadow Flame. If we can get there and we can get a straight team fight, that'll be good. We talked about some of the worries with not having a real front line.
Guwon just almost
there's a teleport. He's just
straight
dead.
up, and Cube has come over. Guwon's gone.
I can't believe WE are going to win this game. This is so disgusting. All right, awesome. There we go. We're out. Threshold help. But they're pushing in 2 lanes, Lennon. Like, this shouldn't be allowed. Why is this happening?
This is a toughie for sure. I want to know what Guwon's feeling is, because that man was 6-1, and he died not greatly right there, obviously, but just like one of those classic solo queue moments. You look at the scoreboard like, I should be winning, but we're not.
He's the only gold lead at this point, so gotta do something. They'll get a plate on bottom side for Hoya, and the teleport there from Karis. Maybe there's a play, but this is something that we addressed in the draft was Care at his best on some of these champions tends to be invisible, and we have not seen him in a big team fight. I mean, in general, we have not seen a 5-on-5 team fight from these guys. And if everything keeps going as is, WE are going to continue to eke out an advantage here in this game. They don't care that their mid lane turret is under siege right now, because this Xin Zhao with this Lulu pairing is obnoxious. Yeah. And we're gonna have Dragon spawning at 30. If there's ever a time for a Baron, I mean, you are going to be hard pressed as NIP walking in.
I did see the mid turret getting a little bit low from the siege. Was repelled. Did get popped then in the end. I will note, while I was talking about Guwon, he's on 3 items. He's got the Serpent's Fang now, so a little bit of that shielding from the Lulu is going to be negated there. But all those other item spikes you were talking about coming here is a little bit too late now to be finishing those, as Dragon is spawning, and see the kind of tempo that wants to be played around here, and how much NIP want to commit to trying to get some of these dragons going, because we were talking about some of that objective focus, and especially around dragons for both these teams early.
Grabbing that mid-tier 1 is giving WE the strength and the confidence to walk forward, and NIP the fear of going any much more into that mid lane right now. Gwen and Xin Zhao are going to turn taking this turret, so any dreams of a dragon stacking, of getting Ocean Soul to potentially save you here in this game, fading very quickly for Ninjas of Pyjamas. This lead from bottom lane is almost completely evaporated at this point. About and Assum are very similar in terms of gold and in terms of experience. Ziggs is going to consistently counter anything, and we had a problem, right? I think that this draft from WE is very tricky to play if you have no front line, but we saw 0 proactivity outside of those early ganks, and we didn't transition those leads into anything bigger, which I think is a pretty large disappointment from NIP.
And that's the transition conversation that I worry about, because when you look into the Knights Rivals tournament, when you look into that run into playoffs, you need to be able to execute and transition early advantages into late game wins. Because I feel like something we've noticed so much about the current meta that we have.
This AI, bro!
Should be able to get out of there. One thing we've noticed is, like, I know Jay Beto was talking about it last night as well, but like the gold leads feel kind of fake in some regards. Like, there are a lot of catch-up mechanics right now in League of Legends, and I think teams have started to realize how to use those efficiently as weapons. As speaking of, a couple weapons going down to Cube, but I don't think they could do this. I don't know. We'll see. He does have 2.5 items.
If he shows here, that's Baron immediately here for WE. So That needed to be a play. They weren't able to find anything. I mean, we touched on it very briefly, but this league season, I would say, is the inflation season. There is gold everywhere. There are turret plates abound. Everything is worth a lot of gold. I mean, we have First Blood that's obviously back, so you get a little bit more in the early game. That only happens once in the game. Well, yeah, you've got Dominance, you've got Slice and Dice. You're probably fine here. He's going to get the teleport out from Zhuo here. It just feels like now NIP are just being drawn across the map. Again, 3 grubs and the Ziggs means that this turret is essentially, in about a moment or two, pretty much gone.
Squeezed like the lemon color of their uniform. WE. Gonna be putting it on to NIP here. And you see continuing. Monki gonna get the wild growth. Oh, he misses the wind, becomes lightning. Nice flash from Guwon.
I'm not letting you get away from that. I'm not letting you get away from that. That's not lemon. This is green. Are you? Okay, this is a real question.
Highlighter yellow.
Are you colorblind?
No.
Okay, that's a lime.
You know,
that's lime green then. That's lime green.
Things, okay, make it a lime then. There you go.
That's not a lemon.
Take your pick. Citrus. It could be orange if you want it to be.
No, definitely can't be orange. Let's
OMG, where are you
real
at?
quick, what color is WE?
Purple. No, red.
Now, what fruit would you pair with this red?
Ooh, there's a, you know, the really psychotic answer I feel like is watermelon because the inside is red, but the real answer is apple.
I mean, I guess watermelon. We're gonna have to investigate. All right, let's get back to the
biologist. I'm not a fruit man. All right.
You're literally your name was Lemons for like the first half. Whatever. We'll just get this pairing from WE.
All right, yeah, they're just gonna take it. Guwon might go for skill of the edge here. Oh, Guwon misses the left sentence there. Moonlight Vigil on a multi-member. 3,000 health down. Q goes over the wall. Guwon is the Baron. He goes down immediately, and Monki wants to make sure nobody is alive to tail the tail. As now Assum is trying to get away, but he's just getting dashed on. Monki gets an Emperor divided to death. And I don't think WE can chase down the rest of the members here. Hoya's getting gold 2 in the mid lane.
Okay, he teleported, and he got a single turret. I guess we'll just say that's worth. Baron gives them 1,500 gold, and WE, well, some of their members are able to survive from that one. An amazing steal from Guwon. For the time being, keeps them in the game. Do I think it realistically changes the flavor of what we've seen this game? That one I'm a bit more hesitant to call. So, Dragon spawns in a minute, Lennon, and now I'm looking at really important summoner spells. I think the big win here for WE is that Assum, no flash going into this objective. Take a look back at this Baron. Yeah, the Moonlight Vigil lands onto 2, but a heal from Yaoyao and all the shielding is great. Cube has no crowd control to stop this Kiana from getting in, so he just slides over that wall. Cool. I mean, this is a big overextension from Monki, and this has been the problem we've had from him this season. Is he feels sometimes he's the main character, like he can just do no wrong in some of these fights, and that has led to WE having some pretty big problems in their games.
I'm just so surprised he didn't even smile. I mean, obviously, like trying to. Oh. Okay, Monki says, Guwon, you want to fight? I'll take that fight. Supreme player talent hits him. The Mega Inferno Bomb does
Hoya.
Hoya finds the back line, finds access, finds damage, and here comes Care. They're dashing and flashing all over WE, and that lead has crumpled. Hoya's going to try to get out of that one. The needlework going through. Detsonance lands. I don't know if he wanted to hit that one.
What is Zhuo doing?
CC is maybe enough. Big Moonlight Vigil. That's going to be a Calibrum onto Cube. And About still survived. But NIP, all of a sudden you blink and you miss it. 1,000 gold up.
This gold graph is going to be so cringe to watch, man. I can't wait till we get to the end of the post game and we just see this, man. It's going to be really, really straight. It's going to be an LPL gold graph of all time. They take a fight. I mean, we'll look back at this.
Just hits Monki once, and Monki's like, "No, we're fighting."
I mean, he has a Lulu next to him. Honestly, I get it. I completely understand. He thinks they could do this. This is an amazing flank from Hoya. Flash, while he does get polymorph, stun goes on to Yaoyao, goes on to About, forces the cleanse and the Mikhails here from Yaoyao to try to get Monki out of the death sentence. And this is where it gets a little bit strange. We wanted to see the solo laners get in, and while it was a quieter game for Hoya and Care past the 10-minute mark, this is the fight that we needed to see from them. This is the big turnaround that we needed to see, because I mean, this Renekton is kind of the big front line for NIP in this game.
And now we're looking at big item completions continuing here. 4th item now for Guwon. As the siege continues, it's going to be big CC chain on a Monki. Monki's thinking about going back in, wants to try to get the back off here, but you got to think about how NIP has utilized some of these lanes. Hoya has been picking up the slack with some of this side lane gold, and now this siege is just coming for all that WE. Oh, and about overextends. He's going to take one down with him, but was it worth it?
I'll take that. That's enemy 80 carries down, and we've got a Ziggs. We can always wave clear. Even if he's on the bottom lane here, he could just throw a Mega Inferno Bomb, and that's a wave gone. Cube's also pushing on the top side. In this game, I do think that Hoya has had a bigger impact so far. Cube is reaching level 18, and that could be a very big spike for them. You know, we can go even further, go 19, go 20. Might see top laners actually do something in the season, but I can't believe it's taken 29 minutes for them to really be a part of the game.
I mean, honestly, with the way things are going, I expect another 25 minutes to come around. And see if they can really get all the way the distance. I mean, we've gone 2-2 in Dragons. We've had split objectives in the top side of the map. We've had chaotic fights, gold lead swinging back and forth. This is exactly how we want to cap things off here. But I guess that being said, like, the item spikes will continue, and we talked a little bit about scaling for both sides, but I do appreciate that kind of everybody's going to have their tools to some regard. I mean, we even have that Randuin's complete for Monki to try to be tankier and slow down that AoE around him too when he goes in, but everybody's going to have their kind of piece to the pie.
Yeah, everyone's going to kind of get in here because we don't have traditional front lines built into the teams. It's a Xin Zhao here for WE with a Lulu, so reasonable enough, and then there's a big Renekton on the other side. Zhuo has 3,000 HP and 110 armor. This guy dies instantly to like a Ziggs or even this Yunara champion. So 2 minutes in before we have soul point for either team available. And with a 2,000 gold lead here for NIP, what I want to see from the Ninjas in Pyjamas is just get a good team fight where we can get Hoya on a flank. There is nothing that they can do to stop this guy from really getting into the back line. If we have a front to back, I'm expecting for WE to win that.
Guwon's going the long way. He's got that speed up there. He's going to look for an angle on the Cube. Cube doesn't know yet. Hoya goes ahead and goes straight in. The CC chain is on to Hoya, or at least on to Cube now with that supreme display of talent. Guwon goes for the snipe but can't get it, but he will fall anyways. Hoya gets the kill.
That's great, and this gives NIP time to push this bottom lane wave. You can give up some of the mid wave, and then either look for a play that protects Care, who is pushing on top lane, or just give you priority over this dragon spawning in a minute and a half. This is a really smart timer for them to find. This gives them the ability to put vision down, so good spot from Guwon and from Hoya, working very well for themselves. Instead of doing that, they just want to clear all this vision on the top. I mean, I won't lie, Lennon. You got an Azir, you got an Aphelios on 4 items. Maybe we're just starting this.
They have Runans as well completed, so this AoE fight could be very good for Assum. Mega Inferno Bomb's going to do a good chunk of damage. The Baron getting low, Baron going down. Monki has found, but a beautiful
look at Assum.
Moonlight Vigil from Assum, and now they try to go for the backline access, but Care can't really do much. Karis going to flash away from him as well. It's going to be the Baron in IP, and the siege can continue. But it's going to be WE who made it out mostly intact.
Oh, WE weren't able. They had too many trips and fumbles between the 10 and 20 minute mark. Now NIP, I mean, Baron, they're going to recall because they know they have to get ready for Dragon that's going to be spawning soon. I don't really want to see them invest a lot of resources to this Dragon. Let someone solo this objective, and let's use the Baron that's going to be here for 2 minutes. I think this is a huge objective for them to have found, and you killed Monki, so this Dragon should be going over for free. Remember, this is all precipitated by the fact that they found Cube on a side lane beforehand, allowed for them to move in. And you mentioned it at the beginning of that fight, but awesome. That Moonlight Vigil just took out so much HP from WE.
And I'm not going to lie, maybe looking at it from in-game, but Monki has kind of left his backline out to dry, and that is a symptom of not having multiple tank options to shore up that front line. As he goes in, NIP can find access. And speaking of finding access, I got to say, Guwon is quietly having an incredible game. Maybe the stats earlier on weren't looking too great, but he's got a 2,000 gold lead. He's up like 50 CS over Monki. And it all started with that early proactivity in the top lane, then going all the way to bot lane, stealing the Baron. There's been a lot of spotlight plays for this guy so far in game number 1 of this series.
Yep. Guwon has had the biggest step up because we were worried after his time on DFM and the LCP about, is this guy actually going to be the real deal? And he's really come to play so far. He has the most pogs for this team. And so it'll be interesting to see whether or not he can match a player in Monki, who we were very excited coming in. This should have been the year of this WE team after the success that they had, but Split 3 may have been a bigger forewarning of what this team was going to look like going into the new year, even with a new bottom lane. So still a minute left with this Baron. NIP now make the gold lead go from 1,000 to 6,000 very quickly. The wave clear for WE is going to be the shining, the knight in shining armor for them. It's the only thing that's going to keep them afloat here in this game for the next few moments.
It's just crazy to me how quickly these leads and things have gone, right? Like the swap over to NIP getting the lead was huge, as we see the flash being expended here on the top side while WE loses everything back at home. Should be a little bit of an engage on bot side by Hoya. He'll have to run away a little bit. It's going to be a big pick potentially, as it is going to be the inhib in mid lane that finally falls. Are they just going to go hop on down to the bot lane? Do they want to go top lane? There's going to be some potential more damage, but Baron's going to be falling off in about 5 seconds.
I think Azir is going to be fine by himself even now. Flash. I mean, About has no flash now, so that brother is dead.
Dark passage.
Maybe it's Cube instead.
He doesn't have. Oh, if that sentence does land, maybe it's a little bit different, but they will get the turret for it, I believe.
Ooh.
Nice little hook lands on a Monki. Monki will be probably the person he doesn't want to bring in there, as it will be a utilization to get him away from that one with that CC. And WE live to fight another day at least. They will need to think about their options coming to that next dragon, which will be Soul for NIP.
I'm just looking back at that top lane play where About loses his flash to try to trade on a Care. I mean, Care has a free flash in his basic abilities, and About has to use his ultimate to get his. So you're playing against a Kiana and a Renekton. You're going to have to be really, really resilient, very careful about your positioning here in this game. Remember, winner of this match here in this tiebreaker goes into first place, and you're going to be playing against IG if you are the first place team from Group Perseverance, which I think is a really, really big win, because Top Esports, they have looked way more convincing at the end of the season comparatively to Invictus Gaming. So if you want any chances of immediately qualifying for this Group Ascend in Split 2, that is kind of your big ticket.
All right, well, we plainly see the strategy of WE. Let's group, let's four-man, let's walk around as a team and survive, at least. There will be another Baron coming up in about a minute and a half, but I think that big prio objective is going to be the Dragon and NIP. They're looking a little bit sneaky here, as they are around the backside of WE's advances out on the map, but everything should be right as rain for them now as they all kind of retreat back to bases. There's going to be a little bit of a side lane push coming through from Cube on the top side, but he will have TP to get down to this fight.
It's very important that he gets this wave in right now, because someone's going to have to answer him, even if it is just the Renekton who's going to teleport anyway. Gwen doesn't even have to use the teleporter if she really doesn't want to. She can take this wave and immediately skip into the bottom side here. Yep, goes straight into Fog of War. Gets spotted out by the Vision Cone. Dragon spawns in a minute. It is all darkness. You can see the observers there. Toggle the vision. Gwen can try to make a flank. They're going to see if they can play on this mid wave. So important here for WE. NIP have consistently in these series fallen a little short versus WE. Even with Ocean Soul, they have lost a game to this team in the regular season. And so maybe we go back in time. Maybe we revert their fates. Maybe NIP can close out this game #1 versus WE. And this would be a big win for them if they can do that. Remember, best of 3 here tonight.
As you say, we've found ourselves here before with the Dragon Soul on the edge and it being an Ocean Soul. That Sun Disc going to come up. A lot of damage going on to About there with some of the poke. Awesome. Going to miss the Moonlight Vigil in the end, and Cube has arrived. Neither TP is going to really be utilized for that extra shielding here, but Monki getting CC locked out, just dead. The item spikes have come online, and that's going to be NIP cleaning house here. Baron is on the platter, just delivered to them by Monki himself.
Hey, you said Monki was too far ahead of his backline? Well, there was a perfect example. Why are we standing there without our Lulu? The whole point of this composition, at least from what we have seen and what we can theorize, is Lulu makes this Xin Zhao champion literally Thanos. But if Lulu's not there, and if About's not there, and my damage is in Narnia, well then who's driving the bus? I mean,
a bear.
WE are never winning this one now. So Ocean Soul goes over Ninjas of Pyjamas, and almost assuredly a Game 1 win will be awarded to them at this point.
And I think, obviously, Monki is a newer player. Had a little bit of cutting of his teeth, last year. But it's one of those things that you typically see in kind of those headstrong junglers. And sometimes it really works. I think that there's a lot of players in the LPL that it does work for. But it's the consistency behind it that's the biggest issue. And I think you're seeing a little bit here what NIP with a little bit of reservation in the key moments can truly do. And now Guwon has GA. His entire team is pushing. They've got a 9,000 gold lead and Ocean Soul. They got everything they wanted, and they are eating that cake too.
Let them eat cake, says NIP. We will take all of your jungle camps, all of your minion waves, and at this point all of your inhibitors. The mid lane one just now falling. And then now it is all about a base defense. Monkey's going to go into Hoya, but Ocean Soul means he takes no damage. He's going to fully reset here. And a teleport coming on as well. I think this is going to be the end of the game here for NIP.
Hopefully,
we are having some technical issues right now. It's okay, guys. I'm hoping.
Hoya broadcast. Hoya broadcast. Let's go.
All right, Lennon. We need to cast ourselves into the future here. Okay. Do we think WE completely biffed this fight?
Well,
yes.
We just got caught up, and yes, they did. You got your answer here, Alk, and NIP got theirs. At least for one game, they have reversed those fates. They have taken down WE. Now they're one game away from claiming the top of Group Perseverance.
Blink and you miss it, folks. It was just a really long blink.
And the gold leads, everything, it all just made sense. It's all part of the narrative.
I cannot wait to see this gold graft and laugh. It is going to be perfection coming in from these teams. Early game was good. The mid game was a little bit wonky, which was kind of where we could have seen WE start to get their get back. But just a lot of stumblings in the early game. Yes, this is a counter matchup in bottom lane. So they did well, but about took a little too many steps forward. Guess what? You know what that means? Ezreal game 2. Ezreal game 2.
Gotta go back to the comfort. It's not jail. You want to be there, right? I love that it just got the smile and the laugh out of them. We'll see what they want to go with. I struggle because it's one of those things that Monki played so aggressive, and I think it works for Team WE, but not having that kind of stable front line is going to be tough. And the Gwen is always so good, but you do wonder what this comp looked like if it maybe had one more tankier body in that front line to kind of be able to be that buffer against all of the backline access that NIP were able to get.
I don't know why we're giving Cube Gwen.
Yeah.
Cube, and this is not a great archetype because I think he doesn't have the skill to match this player, but I think he is emulating a lot of Flandre this season, where he is good on the tanks and the carries I don't want to see him on. And Hoya, for what it's worth, I will give him this. The last couple years on Thunder Talk have not been great. I do think that at a certain time when you've been losing so much, you just kind of get into that cycle, that really nasty cycle of, oh, we're going to lose, we make one mistake and we're just worse than a lot of the other teams, so you kind of just perpetuate almost like a victimhood for yourself, which I think is bad. And we were doing a lot of slandering of Hoya, some fair for what he's done, but so far this season, I think that his carries have been good. We've now seen 2 Varus top games. One of them was really strong, one was okay. We had a couple Gnar games that I think were great. His Rumble has seemed decent. His Renekton here in this game, while not in a great, a big equalizer for a lot of the game, he came into those late game team fights and was a menace. So I really want to give him his flowers. He was a player that previously we had spotlighted as potential an all-pro vote going up for the next couple of days. So I think him and the rest of the team actually do have some legs to stand on when we're talking about this Knights Rivals play-in.
All right, but speaking of legs to stand on, Guwon, man. Guwon was insane at this game. Yeah. Okay, it's not the most crazy because the lead got so big at the end, so it makes the earlier ones smaller, but it's still crazy. and how quickly it went down. But I got to give massive shout out to Guwon. The game
Yes.
started with his play and it ended with his play. And I think that's one of the biggest things for this guy is I see Guwon and Monki in a very similar fashion, not only in level, but kind of similar play styles in a lot of ways. But it was really nice to see Guwon with the confidence to go Kiana game number 1. We talked about it from draft, and to have that much presence on the map.
It's also tough because Guwon is coming in as a Korean import, right? Like, he doesn't immediately, at least from what I have seen from team content, doesn't have like a super strong grasp of Mandarin. I kind of, it's funny, I pulled an interview from Karis from their game versus NIP in the regular season, and Karis specifically stated, like, it's my second year, and so my Mandarin isn't great, but I'm actually starting to get acclimated, and I'm trying to really spend a lot of time this year learning the language, which I think is cool. But Guwon, for someone who is obviously an import, is doing really well so far, and I think is finding his feet here in the season.
Yeah, hey, maybe more carry performances coming in. Maybe the Viego. But I'm going to expect that Monki feels like he wants a little bit of revenge after this game for sure. I think he's the type of guy that he'll double down on that kind of aggression and that forward pushing. So I do want to see what he's willing to go with that next game. But what went wrong here for W? Was it just the mistakes on positioning? Was it inherent strategy out? Like, it just felt like it crumbled in the end. Like,
I'm willing to excuse not having a front line because you have a Xin and a Lulu, so that should be reasonable enough. My problem is that this team just was not on the same page. Like, a lot of the time, Karis is on another screen, which is fine in some fights when you're playing Ziggs, but in others, not great. And a lot of the times we start off these fights with saying, okay, Monki is forward, Monki is dead. Okay, there's the front line, it's dead now. So part of it is his fault, and part of it is that it just felt like WE were not cohesive here in this game number 1. And that's problematic because, again, this night's play-in tournament, it doesn't matter. Both teams will be playing in this tournament regardless, but you only have 2 days. And you're going to be going up against a Group Ascend team. You'll be starting in the upper bracket. You need every single little bit, especially because we have so many best of 5s. You have 6 best of 5s to get through in 3 days.
Yep.
9. Sorry, 9 best. Or, no, 6. It was 6. Okay, I'm dumb.
Yeah, because it's the second round. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that's gonna be wild. Hey, guys, LPL keeps us on our toes, I guess. These were the couple fights that we didn't actually get to end up seeing until this little section here. But
this one's also fake. They literally just put us in. Just put us in the same one.
Yeah, why not? But I guess that brings us to the conversation of kind of who we think is going to be MVP for this one. I sang his praises earlier. I think Guwon deserves a lot of praise for this one. Is there anybody else or a reason why you think Guwon?
If it's not Guwon, it's Assum. Like, multiple times this guy was smurfing fights. There is the one time in mid lane where he kind of got caught because they were pinched, but I think it has to be him. Producer Ice Fire Eyed is saying Zhuo. I could see it. There's a I just don't think his impact was as yeah, I just don't think you have the same splashiness as Guwon.
The Baron steal is for me that because I mean you gotta think like what I know hindsight's 2020, but NIP getting that Baron, what does it change? Like honestly, it might change a lot of the game because they were in the advantage right there, and then they kind of just incrementally lost to WE. Wonder.
Yay!
It'll be Guwon on the first game Kiana of this best of 3, feeling good to set the tempo in the series at least with how important this series is.
Hey, he is leading his team in Pogs right now. He was already at 4, now at 5. He is currently the 5th place in terms of most Pogs in the games or in their games. So I think it's really cool. He is 1 below Tarzan, 1 below Krako, 2 below Kyle and Tarzan. And then we obviously have Knight, but Knight's sitting at 8. That's going to be a pretty tough one. Unless
that's a little tough.
Yeah, but hey, you can still do it. You can potentially do it. So
get you somebody who can do both. Get you somebody who can play just as much Vi as they can play Kiana. All right, and that's what you get with Guwon. Speaking of, though, before we get going off into game number 2, if you would like to support us on LPL English, please consider becoming a Coffee member. Coffee is the best way to support the LPL English project directly, since a vast majority of the payments and contributions go directly to the show, paying for the broadcast updates, at least the package updates, paying for the many wonderful volunteers that put a ton of time into this broadcast on a daily basis. Please go think about subscribing. You can see the link there in the chat as well. You get early access to content like our podcast that's been coming out, as well as interview content in the future as well. But that's going to be it for our game number 1 of this deciding best of 3. We'll see if NIP can finish the deal or if it's going to be a WE comeback in game number 2.